crawl up one of these on the ship. It's got these, what do you call it, you know, where you crawl up on nets and that type of thing, and sailed all the way home. And I mean, we hit storms. Oh, did we hit storms? It's terrible. You had to tie yourself in your bunk. The only way you could do it. And so, you know, during that time, and it was slow going, it was terrible. Everybody was sick. That's why I always took, there was 4 beds, 4 little cots. I always took the top one because I knew I wasn't going to vomit, and those guys were. They can have that. And even while you're eating, oh, you should see our eating in the dining room of the ship. You know, it had edges on it so your biscuit couldn't fly off and that type of thing. And the guy right beside me started vomiting right there. You know, while I was eating, oh, it was terrible. And to clean all that up and stuff. That's the way it was though, because it was really bad. Huh? And I was memorizing. Do not wait until some. What do you call it? Do not wait to shed your light afar. To the many duties ever near you, now be true, right in the corner where you are. Or do not wait until some deed of greatness you can do. Do not wait to shed your light afar. But, you know, right there. Okay. Okay, so I did that.
So you shed your light.
I had to do that, take my mind off of the ship sinking, you know, never knowing. It was terrible. And one of our 155 howitzers got loose. They're heavy. And boy, oh boy, that thing could go right through the side, you know. So they got everybody down there. It's like lassoing a horse, you know, one of those horses. And they finally did and tied it down. But boy, that was close, really close. Well, that's the way it goes. So we got retrained. We did. Retrained, and from there, oh yeah.
So things.
I'll tell you what happened to me. When I first got in, I was inducted in the Army. I was inducted from Mount Lake, and these were mostly Mennonites over here, and they were conscious objectors, or if not that, non-combatant. You know, if you're a non-combatant, you don't have to go where the fighting is, and you don't have to carry a weapon at all. And they put me down as a non-combatant, and I knew nothing about it, ever. All through Alaska. We were on our way to Attu and Kiska, where the Japanese were, and I was in the Army outfit. And I had gun practice all the time, and carried a gun. I carried a Browning for a while. That was quite a gun. Anyway, but and one day the clerk came to me and said, "Hey, the commander wants to see you." And I said, "What in the world does he want now?" He said, "You'll find out." And so, of course, you know, when he asks, you go, you know, and you come to attention and salute and everything. And when you leave, you do an about face like you're supposed to, and you go out. But and he told me about my non-combatant. I knew nothing about it. First time I knew about it, because I wasn't really a non-combatant. And he told the clerk, he says, "I'm going to throw my 45 at Esau, and if he catches it, he goes with us. If he drops it, he stays home." But you know, that was kind of a joke anyway. That wouldn't have made any difference. Anyway, he said, "You know what?" He said, we're going to go into combat. We all know that. And you don't have to go. You're an non-combatant. We cannot force you to go into combat. He said, "You can stay home. You know, you sleep in white sheets and everything. Have a wonderful..." But he said, "You know what? We need you. We'd like to have you go along." It was Captain Wilkins. He said, "I'd like to have you go along with us. You're the welder. We need somebody for our cannons and stuff, welding, you know, and that type of thing." So he says, "It's up to you." He said, "I've got something here. You sign away your life. Sign it away. If you sign it, it's all over. You are no non-combatant, no conscience objector, no nothing. You're one of us." And I was an old Army I was the first recruit that came in this 81st Field Artillery Battalion. It was an old outfit. And so, you know, they tried to scare me when I first got in it. They were, you know, it didn't scare me. But they thought they were going to really scare this recruit. Army recruit, you know, for a year coming in. Well, no, then it was more than that because we'd been to war already. But so I signed my name, and I signed it pretty steady, you know, and did better than I do now back then. And later on, I'll tell you, when we were surrounded by the enemy and things were going on, I thought back. I thought back to those days. I could sleep between sheets instead of foxholes. And hay mounds. Oh man, I slept in the hay so much over there. Just, you know, you dig yourself in there a little bit. It was the safest, you know, you thought it was the safest place. And the master sergeant, he liked me, and he always wanted me to be with him. And he smoked. I was so scared he was going to set that hay on fire so many times. You know, his name was Sergeant K. And, well, we were just like brothers over there because we lived and, you know, we saw people die and for, you know, for 4 years. Can you imagine being with someone all the time, day and night, always, and relying on other people for safety and all the rest of it. Anyway, so we started across, and isn't that tape about over? We were going across, of course. I hit Omaha Beach. I was the first vehicle that drove off in English Channel up on Omaha Beach, of our LST boat, first one. And I got a picture. I took it through. The thing was bouncing up and down. I took it through the windshield of the vehicle. It's out of focus, but you can see it. You can see Omaha Beach and all the rest of it. And there we were, first. And then I write about it, in fact, what really happened over there back then, you know. But that's something else. Anyway, and then I remember the next thing we did was go through Paris. Oh, man. You know, they just liberated France and Paris. The Americans did it. The French need to remember that. The Americans did it. And while I was driving through in my vehicle, 10-ton wrecker with a big boom on the back, driving through there, you used to see the mademoiselles down the streets of Paris, all throwing flowers at us in the cab, and we slow down so, you know, they could throw them in, you know, and they'd holler at us and stuff, and the whole thing was just full of flowers on the floor of the cab. They